title is Plants React to Filter Light.
Our hypotenuse was that hypothesis if that different color filters produce different amounts of wavelengths, it would affect the plant growth.
Which one did you hypothesize would be the best or worst?
The control group.
Which was?
Clear.
Okay, so
The
of the
best.
2 test groups, did you have a hypothesis?
What?
We believe that the green filtered light would have the worst effect on the plant because it creates a higher wavelength, and plants aren't able to absorb higher wavelengths.
Okay, great. Can you talk to me a little about your literature review? What you learned and what you studied?
All right. So what we did for our literature review was that we looked for what wavelengths meant.
Talk to me about
We
that, please.
basically studied the light spectrum.
Okay.
And we also researched what types of lights plants are more attracted to, and what lights make them grow better.
Talk to me more about your literature review. What did you learn about those things, not just what the questions were? Talk to me more about what you wrote your literature review on.
Basically, how the plant,
Talk to me about photosynthesis and what
Well,
your experiment was
basically,
testing. Yeah.
that they need sunlight in order to photosynthesize.
Which means what?
To release oxygen.
Go on. Did you base your project on something else? Where did you get your idea?
Well, we wanted to know which filtered light would make farming more efficient, I guess. And as the results show, that clear light is the best for plants.
Can you just talk to me a little bit about your data?
Basically, the control group was the best one. The second best was...
Which ones are your control?
These.
Those are those guys, okay.
The second one was the red one.
Okay.
It worked better than the green one.
Wow. So the last set is your green ones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you talk to me about growth and the actual data points in your growth? So what did you see, and were there any experimental errors?
So what we saw with the green was that at the start it was kind of growing,
It was doing great.
yeah. But then almost at the end of the experiment it started dying off, I guess.
Were there any scientific errors in your experiment?
A lot.
Yes.
Talk to me about some of those.
During the weekend, 5-day weekend.
Okay,
we
what happened
forgot
then?
to water them
And
turn
we
on the
left
lights.
Okay.
and then also on the...
Did you what was the result after those 3 days? Can you show me on your data table where that happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that drop right there in your
Yeah.
data is actually the 5-day weekend Memorial Day. All right, cool. Keep going.
And then our other experimental error was that one of the lights fell and burned the screen.
Okay. But you continued. You didn't replace it because it would have given you a different layer. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Talk to me about the scientific method as far as your procedures. What are some of the things you did and built and created, and how did you set your procedures up, please? So what was the first thing you
So
did?
we use cardboard box.
Okay.
And we put 3 layers of the filter in each one
Okay.
to stay consistent. And in each test group we added the same amount of dirt.
And water.
Okay. And the lighting, it looks like in the picture it's pretty much the same distance from the, was that another variable that you looked at, is distance from the filter?
Well,
Or were they just randomly placed?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like they're all at a table, so that might have been another experimental design, was how far from the filter they actually were. But I know that was a difficult one to set up in a classroom, so. If you guys were going to change some things and redo this entire experiment, can you name some things you would do differently?
We would add more plants so that we could,
take the average.
out of all of them.
Okay.
So we have less experimental.
Think about your scientific errors. What are some other things you might do differently?
Make sure that
Water consistently
and the light's always on the daytime.
Okay, cool. What are some problems that you had to solve in building this experiment?
Well, we had the problems that were that we had to figure out how many filtered filters would go in each plant to have like a good amount.
Okay. How many filters, meaning how many layers?
Yeah, layers.
Okay, cool. What are some of the materials you guys use? So what type of plant?
Jalapeno.
Right, and what kind of dirt?
Organic dirt.
Organic. So was it the Miracle Grow we used from the other? Okay.
Yeah.
And then what did you use for colored filters?
We used the clear plastics,
Okay, and then the colored plastic, where did you get that from?
Michaels.
Yeah.
Cool. Can I see both of your research papers, please? And just show me a citation, please, first.
Okay, that one.
Oh, cool.
Oh, what did you
Excellent. Citations are there, citations are there.
This is my article.
Okay, your articles are there, excellent, excellent. And then any evidence of your notebook pages or your data collection? I know that you guys are perfect. And one of you collected and then you shared, is that kind of, or is that part of your research? How did you separate the data?
Well, we just took it like day to day.
But you did it in one
Yeah,
notebook
in
instead
one
of two,
notebook.
okay, cool. And how come you guys didn't do it at home, just out of curiosity?
Well,
Is a concern about doing it at home?
not like forgetting to wire them and forgetting to turn on or off the lights.
So you felt like it being here was more controllable?
Yeah.
Okay, great. If you were going to redo the entire experiment and get a whole second chance at doing the exact same experiment, what are 3 things that you would change?
We use
well,
like different type of plants. 'Cause this one's like take a while to grow.
Okay, that's a really good, anything else?
The amount of plants
So we already talked about
Right.
that, where you do an average, excellent.
and the distance from the table of light.
Oh, so you would have measured, okay,
Yeah.
and made sure that was consistent, excellent. And then the last thing I think I have for you guys is, what were the conclusions? What did you discover having completed your experiment?
Well, we discovered that green is like the worst to grow plants with because the plants aren't able to absorb the high wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
And also like I researched that since it's the same color as the plant, it just reflects like back and it doesn't allow.
So how could you use that if we were thinking about practical applications to your experiment and using it in industry or using it in farming or in agriculture? What could your conclusions be applied to? Think of anything?
Yeah,
I-
well, to grow like better plants and stuff, they don't need any filters because natural sunlight's the best.
That makes complete sense. I was thinking buildings, and you know how they tint windows?
Okay.
My first biology classroom had tinted windows, and I killed a lot of plants that year and would not have known that it was because of the tinting. And I think that might be something for future feasibility, guys, is instead of testing colors, maybe get window tinting. And actually test different levels of window tinting and see what window tints actually allow plants to grow effectively in a window. And then you'd have your clear window as your control and that kind of thing, because I think that would be really feasible, especially with horticulture. A lot of people are doing indoor gardens. That would make a big difference on whether they get their windows tinted or not. So very nicely done, guys. Thank you. Awesome. Go ahead and leave your stuff there. And my next up, and I'll have